All right, welcome. This is DB Talking Now, DB Talking Birds, DB Talking Philadelphia Eagles. I am back with you live. I was supposed to do a live stream with Greg and Graham, Double G, Bro Squad, and we were going to talk about state of the Eagles, draft scenarios, Harry Roseman, and much more. Unfortunately, they have not joined yet. Hopefully, they do join. We will have to see about that. But I will go ahead and get started, and we can go ahead and do exactly that. We will talk about the state of the Eagles. We will talk about draft scenarios. We will talk about Howie Roseman, and we will talk about much more. So it will be still exciting. We're also going to go through the PFF draft simulator. So it's the mock draft simulator. So it's gonna be a little bit of fun that we're gonna have. So I'm excited. One of these scenarios that I want to go ahead and touch on is as we know, Howie Roseman has not taken a first round defender in quite some time. I'm pretty sure the last time he's done it probably was Marcus Smith, if I'm not mistaken. He's not one of those guys that does it very often. So I don't. So with that being said, if he holds true to the patterns that he's had in the past, we can probably eliminate guys like the Patrick Surtains of the world or the Caleb Farleys of the world or things of that nature. From this pick 6 in the first round. If Howie Roseman were to take a defender in the first round, and this is kind of one of those things that I feel, it would probably be a defensive lineman. And as we've talked about in the past, taking a defensive lineman at pick 6 would be a reach. But it would not be a reach out of the stratosphere of Howie Roseman. It just wouldn't. He would make those kinds of moves. And for those and in regards to that, I'm talking about like defensive tackle Barmore out of Alabama. He is a stud defensive tackle. I wouldn't mind making that reach for Barmore out of Alabama, but would I mind making a reach just for the sake of reaching? Yes, I would. I would mind making a reach just for the sake of reaching. It wouldn't make sense. There would be no point. But in the long run, I think it would be a player that would be nice to have. And plus, on top of that, we definitely need to start thinking about the heir apparent to Fletcher Cox because, one, they're probably going to cut Malik Jackson. They're probably going to do that. We don't know what they're going to do with Javon Hargrave. He's getting paid way too much for the little production that he did give us. So and Fletcher Cox is getting a little bit long in the tooth, guys. So we have to find something. We have to find something in this draft. But I just don't think pick 6 is one of those things where it's worth taking a defensive lineman, but it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility when it comes to Howie Roseman. The other thing that I want to touch on too is obviously linebacker. That's just not going to happen. That's just not going to happen. So we can kind of cut and just put a nil and void label on Micah Parsons out of PSU, Penn State University, and we can just kind of put him off to the side because he's not one of those guys that you can put at defensive line. He is a phenomenal linebacker. He can play all linebacking positions, but not defensive line. So it's not going to be in the realm of Howie Roseman. However, there is a fellow PSU linebacker that could possibly be another reach for Howie Roseman at pick 6, and that would be edge rusher Jason Away, who can also play stand-up linebacker. So I wouldn't mind reaching for a guy like Jason Away at 6, and I'm only saying this because I could see Howie Roseman doing it, but I don't think it would be necessary. We don't need to reach for the sake of reaching. We don't need to reach for Jason Away at 6. My hope is this, and it is a very justifiable possibility that Jason Away could be there at pick 37. And at pick 37, Jason Away would be a fucking steal. A fucking steal. And so with that said, that would be the better option. That would be the better option to take edge rusher, Penn State Penn State edge rusher Jason Oweh at pick 37. I would absolutely fucking love that. In fact, he's one of my guys. He's one of my preferred choices at pick 37, on top of Asante Samuel Jr. at pick 37. So, but let's go ahead and move on. Look, there's a huge debate, and the huge debate is this: pick 6, Jamar Chase, Devontae Smith, Kyle Pitts. Guys, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? We got 3 guys that we can possibly grab. 3 guys. And it's hard to come up with, it's hard to decide which one would be, more suitable for this offense. The truth of the matter is that there's really no answer. I mean, I feel like this, we all know this. We all need we need playmakers all across the board. And one guy is not going to fix the offense. One guy is not going to solidify and add a substantial return to our hopes and dreams for what this offense could be. The thing is that Jamar Chase would be great. Devontae Smith would be great. Kyle Pitts would be great. Look, Jamar Chase came out and recently said on his Twitter, I would love to play for Jalen Hurts. I would love to play with Jalen Hurts. That's awesome. I love that type of stuff. I really do. One, because it builds up hype. It builds up excitement as you get closer and closer towards the draft. And that's one of those things that you just want to grab a hold of, right? And you hope it comes true. Jamar Chase is a phenomenal player. I feel like I've been talking too much about Devontae Smith and Kyle Pitts, and in my head, and maybe it's not coming across this way, but in my head, it's starting to seem like I have some negative thoughts on Jamar Chase. I really don't. I would love Jamar Chase in this offense. I think it would be good for Jalen Hurts to grow with a young stud like Jamar Chase. Especially they would both be young. Obviously, Jalen Hurts would be in his technically we could count it as Jalen Hurts' rookie year, right? Because it would be his first year as the starter, the full-time starter, and to grow with a guy that you had on the outside, that would be great. Look, we could take a Kyle Pitts. King, welcome, my man. Happy Saturday. We could take a guy like Kyle Pitts, but that's what we did. That's what we try to do with Carson, I think it would be good if we tried to adapt and build the offense from the outside in. We don't need to build the offense from the inside out. There's going to be plenty of guys. There's going to be plenty of opportunities to get a second tight end in the later rounds, like Boston College tight end Hunter Long would be a substantial option for a second tight end. And he's one of those sleeper picks that I absolutely like as well. Let's go ahead and see what King says. Jalen Hurts looks really good in the offseason. I don't think we need a QB, so I'm hoping Jamar Chase. Yeah, no, absolutely agreed. And I want to touch on this too. Look, Jalen Hurts has been doing everything right. And I'm really, really, really stoked about this. Absolutely stoked about this. He's working out with Deshaun Watson. He's working out with a private QB coach. He's doing all of the right things. He's doing it pretty much 24/7. He's working his ass off, man. Jalen Hurts is working his ass off. He's acting like a leader. He has plans to work out with the young wide receivers. I absolutely love it. And going back to what I was saying, having a Jamar Chase would be a great option. I have nothing against Jamar Chase, and honestly, I do want to bring up some questions that I had about a few weeks ago about Devontae Smith. I do have fears, and I do have fears about speedsters at the next level. I just do. No, look, I'm not saying he's strictly a speedster. I'm not, because I don't think he is. But he is undersized for the NFL. So it's more so that on top of everything else. Look, he can do so much. Devontae Smith can do so much, but it's the it's the undersize that I worry about. He's 6', 175. I worry about that. You know what I mean? And Jamar Chase is a little bit built and more pro. His size is a bit more pro ready, to me anyway. And he's another LSU wide receiver. So I mean, we know what history shows us, and we know what the background is with the LSU wide receivers, and it just doesn't get the pedigree doesn't get any better there. Along with Kyle Pitts, we have background on Kyle Pitts. We have the offensive coordinator as our QB coach. We have the former offensive coordinator for the Florida Gators, who was the offensive coordinator for Kyle Pitts. So we have background there. So I would rather take Jamar Chase or Kyle Pitts, in my opinion. And as King brought up, quarterback is a concern. They could go quarterback at 6, but they might not. That's the thing. If they go quarterback, I could see it being Zach Wilson, and I don't see it being anybody else, only if they can get Zach Wilson. I have a feeling that they are very interested in Zach Wilson, but if Zach Wilson is out of their reach, then they won't go ahead and get Zach Wilson. But the truth is this: they don't need Zach Wilson. They don't need Justin Fields. They don't need to send the lot if there is a shot at Trevor Lawrence at all. They don't need Trey Lance. They don't need these guys. They just don't need them. They just don't need them. They can reassess and reevaluate in a year from now. If Jalen Hurts doesn't perform the way that we hope he will perform, and a year is fine. A 1-year evaluation is fine, because we have to know if he's going to be the franchise quarterback, and this is the year to do it. So I would get the guy prepared to give it his best shot. And what does that look like? Get him the playmakers so that he's put in the best position to give it his best shot. They didn't do that with Carson Wentz. Do it now. That's what you got to do. And that's where I'll go with that. But here, let me go ahead and bring this up real quick. So right now, I've already got this started. Here, let me change this real quick. All right. So now, as you can see, we are on the clock, and it's a little bit strange. The way that this simulated. So the Jaguars took Zach Wilson at number 1, and that could happen. I mean, it was reported that there was a team that had Zach Wilson rated over Trevor Lawrence on their draft board. It could be the Jaguars. And then the Jets took Trevor Lawrence at number 2, and it really doesn't matter that they took Jalen Waddle, the Dolphins, at number 3. I mean, I feel like they're going to grab a playmaker anyway. But I guess they, if they get Jalen Waddle on their head, they could take him there. Penei Sewell went to number 4. And it's funny that Penei Sewell went to number 4, because honestly, I was having a conversation with a buddy this morning, and it was exactly this. The Falcons aren't necessarily guaranteed to take the heir apparent to Matt Ryan. They're just not. They're not guaranteed. Should they? Probably. But they're not guaranteed to do it. He's not that old, and given the later success of Tom Brady and how he continues to show us how great he can continue to do, Matt Ryan has plenty of years. So they could definitely solidify the offensive line there for the Falcons with Penei Sewell. And that would be a perfectly fine pick. And then the Bengals reach and they go with Kwity Paye. I mean, it happens. Yeah, and King says, get him weapons. Yeah, absolutely. And so that takes us to number 6. And the Eagles are on the board, and we have Justin Fields. We have Justin Fields on the board. We have wide receiver Jamar Chase on the board. We have Micah Parsons on the board. We have Devontae Smith on the board. We have Kyle Pitts on the board. Trey Lance, tackle Rashawn Slater. I have a feeling I know who you want to go with, King. You want to go with Jamar Chase here? Let me know. Let me know. I think that's what we're going to do. I'm going to pull the trigger. Boom. And so what we're going to do here, we're going to do no trades whatsoever. Usually I like to throw in a trade around the fourth round, and that would be a pending Zach Ertz trade. But we're not going to do that. We're going to keep it pretty simple here. But going back to some of the players that Howie Roseman could reach for at 6, yeah, I could see them reaching for a Gregory Rizzo. I could see them reaching for a Kwity Paye. Actually, I could see them reaching for a Christian Barmore. I mean, look, defensive linemen are really hard to come by. Here's the thing: if they wait to 37 to get a defensive lineman, the drop off is high. I mean, it's not that high, but it is high. All right, King. So we have Asante Samuel Jr. on the board. We have tackle Elijah Vera Tucker, and he's a solid tackle. Let's go ahead and look at the breakdown here. If this wants to load. He's a solid tackle there. We have Mac Jones at quarterback. Samuel Cosme over out of Texas at tackle. We have Travis Etienne on the board out of Clemson. We have Walker Little, tackle out of Stanford. Safety Darius Washington. 5'8". He's a bit of a smaller guy, but he can kind of do that Malcolm Jenkins thing. But he's a bit younger, or he's a bit smaller. But he can play at safety, he can play at slot, he can play at corner, he can kind of do all of those things. Or you go with the top-rated center out of Alabama, Landon Dickerson. What would you say, my man? What would you say? Or you have wide receiver Terrence Marshall Jr. On the board there, and I mean, I don't see that happening where they go wide receiver back to back, but this is kind of our mock draft that we're doing with each other, so it's kind of fun. I say we go Asante Samuel Jr. here. What do you say, King? Dun, 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 dun. I know, it's hard. It's hard. That's why it's fun, man. That's why it's fun. Look, here's the thing. We're gonna do this entire thing, and we're gonna talk about some of the guys. There's gonna be, so if you're having a tough time because these tackles here at the top, there's some good guys later. So if you think about it this way, we have the 2 3s coming up next. Remember that. All right, let's go with Asante Samuel Jr. here. Boom. And I just love that pick. One, because he's almost just as good as his father. He's not as good as coming down with the ball, but that's something that he can learn. And what better person to bounce ideas off than his father, who did it phenomenally well. But he's just as good at mirroring receivers and coverage and things like that. And it would be a great grab to grab him at 37, because he's one of those guys who is building draft stock. So all right, here we go. Pick 70. Now, Travis Etienne is still on the board, and that's kind of insane. I don't It's hard to forecast that, but I do I do see it happening. I could see that happening. Here, let's go ahead and do this by position here. Yeah, so Najee Harris is already gone. And that makes sense. Najee Harris is phenomenal. All right, now we got offensive tackle here. And to be completely honest with you, King, I think what we're going to do. Ooh, this is a tough one. Man. I feel like if Travis Etienne is there at pick 70, we got to take him, right? Yeah, we got to take him. I mean, it's possible if he's there. I mean, it's possible he could be there. I mean, he did have a fall in production in 2020. So, I mean, let's go with this. Let's just because I want to take Creed Humphrey here, and he can play all on the inside. But let's go ahead and take Travis Etienne here. Boston Scott's going to be a free agent. Yep, and Creed Humphrey was taken. All right. And now I say that we go ahead and go with Jameen Sherwood. Or actually, no, this is what we're going to do. We're going to go with a linebacker. We're going to go with Chaz Surratt. Now, Chaz Surratt is a transfer from the quarterback position, but played phenomenally 1 year at linebacker. And I believe that if he had a couple more years at linebacker, would have been absolutely phenomenal. And so I just love the value here. Plays really instinctual, plays violent, but is very extraordinarily smart. Ben Cleveland would probably be another great pick here. Jalen Darden. I like Jalen Darden, but he's a quick twitch guy. He reminds me, wide receiver Jalen Darden. He reminds me of a Tyreek Hill a little bit, but I believe we can probably have him at 151. But let's just go ahead and go with Chaz Surratt out of University of North Carolina. So for pick 6, I could see them reaching for Jason Away. I could see them reaching for Gregory Rousseau. I could see them reaching for, Barmore. I could even see them reaching for another tackle as well. Honestly, Darisaw. There's so many things because it's, as Philly 500 so graciously put it, it's Howie's vision. He will reach and do whatever he wants. But the truth of the matter is, if you just act as if you're doing everything for Jalen Hurts, just do everything for Jalen Hurts. Everything for Jalen Hurts. Don't do what you think the team needs. Do everything you think Jalen needs to be successful. Get him playmakers. Get him weapons. Get him an offensive line. Or get him offensive line guys who can develop and will be okay, I believe. And it's not like, we'll potentially have 2 first-round picks next year. You know what I mean? And so what I touched on in my last stream was how much faith do we have in the development of Jordan Mailata? Because Jordan Mailata is just basically brushing the surface, right? And he played phenomenally last season in the snaps that he got, in my opinion. Did he have some struggles? Yeah, of course he did. But if they left them in there and they just left him in there for the rest of the season, I feel like we would have seen a a phenomenal product by the end of the season from him, and that's just what they got to do. 151. Honestly, I like Jake Myers here for the Ohio State Buckeyes. To be completely honest with you, King, I like Josh Myers here, or Drake Jackson, honestly, or Drake Jackson. Both are centers. Let me see here, 6'2", 292. This is a big thing because let me see again. We like our centers to be agile. So I say we go Drake Jackson. Boom. Oh, you said Josh, not Drake, not Jake. You know, I like both of them. King, I like both of them, but I've taken Josh. In a few of my other mocks, though. I've taken Josh in a few of my other mocks. And I do, honestly, at the end of the day, I do want Josh. I want Josh. But because I don't think we've heard a word from Jason Kelce. I haven't heard a word from Jason Kelce. And look who's still on the board 6 picks later. Look who's still on the board, King. You still want to go centers? Or do you want to take your second quarterback? Do you want to take an edge rusher right now? Or do you want to take a tackle? Or do you want to take Israel Mukuamu? Or we could take Paulson Adebo, who is also phenomenal, who I also like a lot. I'm not going to say phenomenal. I like him a lot. Defensive lineman Darius Stills. I like him out of West Virginia. You want to go cornerback? Okay. All right. Boom. And there's a lot of good things that I've heard about Israel. He's one of those versatile players. I think off air, Patrick J and I had a conversation about Israel, and he seems like one of those guys that could be like an Isaiah Simmons type, just with his versatility. And I mean, if he can come anything close to that, he would be that pick from Dallas at 157. So thank you, Dallas. Just kidding. You'll never hear me say that ever again, King. Don't ever let me say that ever again. Now that we got Darius still on the board at 191, King, I want to go Darius Stills, defensive line out of West Virginia. I love this guy's motor. I think he's got a good burst. I think he would be great to have. I think he would be a great developmental piece, for our defense, for Jonathan Gannon, and for Tracy Rocker to get his hands on him. I think he would be a phenomenal developmental piece, and we could probably get some good contributions out of him. What do you think? And while I'm waiting for you, let's go ahead and look at some of the other guys. Marco Wilson is a good pickup to have, but we probably don't need him. We already took 2 cornerbacks. Agreed. Gotcha. Okay, awesome. King says agreed. Bam. I mean, so far this draft is going pretty well. I like it. I like this. I like this draft so far. I like this draft so far. Not gonna lie. We'll be able to bring it up once we're done. But there's one thing that we're going to do. We're going to do this. I'm going to make this a little bit more fun. Hold on a second. Boom. Gonna make a trade. Making a trade, King. We're making a trade. We're making a trade with the Arizona Cardinals. No, we're not. We are making a trade with the Pittsburgh Steelers. And we're going to take 225 and 244. And we're going to offer this, see if they take it. Nope. But what we will do is bam. Nope. All right, so this is what we're offering. So we're offering our 220 for 225 and 244, and I'm offering 220 and a 6th-round pick next year. How do you feel about that trade, King? Let me know before I execute this move. Let me know before I execute this move. I have a plan. Dun 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 dun. Let's just go for it. Boom. Accepted. All right, all right. Bad trade. Don't do it, he says. I know it's a bad trade. Watch. Hold on. We'll get it back. We'll get it back. I promise. We're just having fun. We're just having fun. All right. All right. Here we go. Ready? See, they took Ian Book. Took Ian Book out of Shindig. Watch. Watch, 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 watch. We're going to take another inside offensive lineman. So Michael Manet out of Penn State, who can play inside at both positions as well. Another versatile inside offensive lineman. Boom, boom, boom. You're going to take him. Boom. And then my plan, King. What's your plan? King says, but it depends. What is your plan? Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Watch. Boom. Trade back. Nope, not with the Patriots. I'm focused. Sorry, King. I'm focused. I just have to find the right trade partner. You know what I mean? And I thought Andy was going to go for it. Boom. You see that? How do you like that? How do you like them apples? The plan's not done. The plan is not done. We are still not done. I promise you that. I promise you that. All right, here we go. So we just traded Washington football team. Just traded us pick 243 that they got back from Las Vegas that they got from the Las Vegas Raiders, and 245, which was their own pick, and we traded to them pick 232 and our 7th round pick next year. Here we go. Boom. And now we have 3 picks in a row. And we are going to take Trey McNitty out of Georgia. We are going to take Amari Gaynor out of Florida State. And then we are going to take TJ Vasher out of Texas Tech. Boom. Because we're going to have to take another wide receiver at some point. Bam. All right, so here we go. Here's our trades, or here's our grades. All right, so we got an A. We got an A for taking Jamar Chase. I don't understand how that's just an A. That should be an A+. How we got a C for Asante Samuel Jr. out of Florida State, it makes no sense. But we got a B+ for Travis Etienne, a C+ for Chaz Surratt, a B+ for Drake Jackson. Israel Makumo was a B+ out of cornerback out of South Carolina. Darius Stills, C+ out of West Virginia. B+ for Michael Manet out of Penn State. And the trade that you didn't like initially was a C. So I agree. It wasn't that good of a trade. But then we killed the rest of the draft, and I can't see the rest of it, but I have a feeling that we did. Trey McNitty, tight end, pick 243, B plus. 244, Amari Gainer, linebacker out of Florida State, B plus. And the trade, how was that a C plus? That makes no sense. The trade between the Eagles and the Washington football team, the Eagles received pick 243 and 245. Washington football team received pick 232 and 7th round pick next year. And then the Eagles took TJ Vasher, wide receiver. So we got a B. I mean, I thought that was going to be an A plus. In other drafts, in other mock drafts I've had, it's been an A. That one, the TJ Vasher pick, but not a bad draft. Not a bad draft. I liked it, King. I liked it, man. It was a good one. It was a good one. The only thing we did not take that I was really close to taking was I was close to taking safety Trey Dean III out of Florida instead of TJ Vasher. And I probably should have done that. But that's all right. That is all right. But hey, I'm glad that we got to do that mock draft. We'll be able to do much more. I promise you that. We were supposed to have a bit of a more dynamic stream here today. But unfortunately, Double G, Greg and Graham, Bro Squad did not show up. But that is okay. That is okay. Hopefully we will be able to try again. Patrick J is out of town. So at some point, hopefully he can get back in town and I can have him back on air talking about, draft scenarios and things of that nature. And we can pick up where him and I left off. I have plenty of phenomenal plans since him and I last talked. So we'll just have to pick up from there. But hey, King, I'm glad that you got to join and got to take part of that experience. We'll be doing a lot more of that type of stuff going forward. I definitely want to talk more about free agent prospects with all of you all, and also definitely want to do more immersive mock drafts with you guys as well. And so when the future in the future we'll be doing, I'll be asking you guys and being more patient and taking and we'll be able to make the picks together. And if you guys want to call for a trade, we'll call for a trade. If you guys don't want to call for a trade, we won't call for a trade. If you guys want to take a center, a guard, or a linebacker, or a cornerback, or a quarterback, or a wide receiver, tight end, we'll do it. So, but anyway, I appreciate you joining, man. It's always a good conversation with you. Thank you. Happy Saturday, man. Have a beautiful Saturday evening. I hope you're staying safe, staying healthy. Again, check out the merch store, King. I think you'd like some stuff on there. I'm still working on getting some new merch in there, but check it out and have a happy Saturday. This is DB Talking Now, DB Talking Birds, DB Talking Philadelphia Eagles. One love. Happy Saturday. Thank you, King. And go Birds, baby. Go Birds.